Good morning and welcome to Traders 20 on ET Now. I'm Megha Chadha.
Hi everyone, I'm Avan Dabash. Well, Traders 20, this is the show where we get you a daily dose of 20 fresh stock ideas so that you can have a profitable trading day. Our top technical experts, they'll be with us over the next 30 minutes to identify some of the most exciting bets in the markets.
And well, alongside all those equity trading ideas, we'd also be showcasing commodity picks as well as strategies that would help you make the best of the futures and options market. So let's get started first up by telling you about the lineup that we have for today. We've got Ashwini Gujral joining in from New Delhi as always, Mitesh Thakkar, Sandeep Wagle as well as Prakash Gaba here with us in Mumbai, Rajat Bose from Kolkata, and Mr. M.B. Singh would be joining in from Noida.
Okay, straight to the equity markets, and it's a fairly good-looking day, and you can perhaps attribute that to the way the IT stocks are panning out. So after Infy's results, they seem to be in a good position. So you've got 5990 on the index as we speak. The Sensex high by 157 points, 19,820 holding firm. You've got the market breadth, which is holding in favor of the gaining side. All of your sectoral indices are firmly in the green. It's the auto pack that's looking a bit dodgy, but as pointed out, it's technology as well as the IT index which are propelling the index up. So no surprises to see Infosys as the top Nifty gainer, 3.5% higher, 2807, adding to the momentum. DLF, ICICI Bank as well as TCS holding up strongly in the session. You've got ONGC, which is providing quite a bit of support to the markets, and of course we'll be eagerly awaiting numbers from IT bellwether Infy. Axis Bank, ITC, HCL Technologies as well as Hindalco looking strong. You've got BHEL, SBI as well as NTPC holding up in the green. On the downside, cement is seeing a bit of weakness, so you've got Ultratech and ACC topping the charts. Reliance Infra, Lupin, Maruti Suzuki as well as Bajaj Auto a bit muted. Well, that's how the markets are panning out at this point in time. Time to get started off with Traders 20. Here's a quick disclaimer from our end. Please do make sure that you consult your financial advisor if at all you will be taking positions in any of the stocks that have been recommended. On that note, Ashwini Gujral as well as Mitesh Thakkar standing by to dole out their trading ideas. Ashwini, thanks for being with us. Start off with your view on where you see the Nifty headed at 5983 and what your top trading recommendations are for this week.
Well, the Nifty is probably not going to do too much. As we can see, Friday we fell, today we are up. So it will be fairly choppy going, and 5950 to about 6050, that seems to be the range, although Friday we had broken down, but so far we are sustaining it. Today, banking seems to be showing strength in spite of the inflation numbers, and Orient Bank is a buy with a stop about 334, target of 352. Axis Bank is a buy with a stop about 1370, target of 1450. Titan is a buy with a stop about 268, target of 284. McLeod Russell is a sell with a stop about 356, target of 335.
Okay, those were the four ideas that Ashwini is recommending for today. But we've also got the consumer price index number. Remember, we are waiting the wholesale price inflation data in a little while from now. But for now, the consumer price level data also is showing an uptick as far as the December numbers are concerned. We've got 10.5%. That's the CPI number for December versus 9.9%. So that's close to a 60 basis point uptick on a monthly basis at least. In fact, rural inflation has also seen a steady uptick. It's coming at about 10.7% versus 9.9% the last time around. The urban CPI inflation number is also not looking any encouraging. It's around the 10.5% mark as well at 10.42 versus 9.69%. So if you just see a geographical divide, at least the urban inflation has seen a definite and a stark uptick coming in. The wholesale price index number, that is of course what's awaited in over the next half an hour possibly. That's the number that's going to be coming out, and that's probably going to give us some more direction as far as policy action is also concerned. Let's move on then and talk to Mitesh as well. Mitesh, you think that we can be using the bounce back that we've seen today to recommend and go ahead and buy some stocks?
I think this remains a very individual and a stock-specific kind of a market. The index is not showing any kind of trend, and I think it's the individual stocks where traders need to focus upon. So I've identified a few ideas. Today the first one is a buy on a Z with a stop at 230 for a target of 243. That's a stock where we've seen some intraday signals. Hexaware is also on the buy list, but I think it's very close to the stop loss or it's been triggered out. The fact is that it's quite oversold on the charts, and I was looking for a reversal signals. I think it nearly gave a buy signal and then immediately collapsed. But I think if it starts trading above 90, again I think on the spot segment can be bought with a stop at 88.2 for a target of 94. TCS is a buy with a stop at 1329, price target of 1385 is what I would look for in the future segment. And I think I've got a buy on Havells as well, which actually had a highest weekly closing on Friday, I think, and remains a very strong bet to possibly move in the short term. Can be bought with a stop at 667 for a price target of 710.
Okay, those are some of the trading ideas that Nitesh is recommending this Monday morning. Let's get in all of your individual queries answered with Ashwini Gujral. Our first caller for the day is coming in on the phone line from Mumbai. We've got a businessman, Mr. Kishore Kukreja, who's got a query on Reliance Industries. Kishore, बताइए आपकी query क्या है Reliance Industries पे?
मैडम, मैंने 800 के रेट पे 50 शेयर रिलायंस बाय किया है। वो मुझे करीब 1000 के आसपास ही निकालना है। ये टारगेट कब तक मैं समझूं आ सकता है?
ये स्टॉक जो है बहुत ज्यादा मूव नहीं करता है और कमोडिटीज का ट्रेंड इसके लिए बहुत जरूरी है। क्रूड और क्रूड कैसे चल रहा है, जब क्रूड ज्यादा तेजी में होता है तब जनरली ये स्टॉक आउट परफॉर्म करता है। ऐसा लगता है कि इसमें एक बॉटम बन रहा है। आइडिया ये होना चाहिए जब ये 860 880 का लेवल, ये 20 रुपए का लेवल क्रॉस करेगा जहां से ये इस बार वापस आया है, तब आपको इसमें 1100 तक का प्राइस मिल सकता है। सो इसको एग्जैक्टली प्ले करने का तरीका ये होगा कि आप 900 से ऊपर अगर ये जाता है तो इसमें 50 और ऐड कर लें, तब आपको एक पूरा मुनाफा मिलेगा और जो आपका होल्डिंग पीरियड में आपका जो टाइम वैल्यू जा रहा है वो आप कवर अप कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि ये बड़ा स्टॉक है और इसको चलने में टाइम लगता है। सो ऐसा कहना मुश्किल है कि 1000 रुपए जो है अगले महीने हो जाएगा, 2 महीने बाद हो जाएगा, लेकिन जब भी ये 900 से ऊपर चले तो कुछ अपना क्वांटिटी बढ़ाएं तो आपका वो टाइम वैल्यू जो खराब हुआ है वो आपको वापस मिल जाएगा।
Okay, that's the word of advice coming in on a Reliance Industries. Moving on from a Reliance Industries, then next take up a query on an ONGC. We've got Parvez Daruwala joining us on the phone line from Mumbai. Parvez, hi, thanks very much for being with us. Tell us about how we can help you with ONGC.
Yeah, good morning, madam.
Good
Madam,
morning.
I would like to know about ONGC, which I have purchased 300 shares 2 years back at the rate of 325. And then since I had just taken for a trading purpose, and then I never got that chance to get out. So I have become a long-term investor, and now I am holding that. Now I am waiting for 300 rupees to cross. Last week it had crossed, so I wanted to sell. Now what should I do? Should I hold? Should I get my 325 price and then I should sell, or should I wait for that? Or should I sell in 300 rupees?
Sir, first of all, allow me to explain what you did wrong. You bought it for a trade and then became an investor. You can't do that. I mean, if you bought it for a trade, you should have had a stop loss. You should have been out once that stop got taken out. Now, your problem is that you have made a bet on, Government of India. And in this country, good economics often is not good politics. So 325 will get crossed in case there is some deregulation in the diesel sector, or if somehow, subsidies are reduced. There's lots of talk, but very little action. So if that happens, maybe yes, 350 is a possibility, because we have been trading in the 250 point range from about 250 to about 300. But if nothing happens and it is status quo and no diesel price hike, no deregulation, nothing, then 300 is the top. You will not cross, 325 in any kind of hurry. If I were you, I wouldn't worry about 25 bucks that you can make in other stocks which don't have government regulation, because this is a problem. If, your product prices are controlled by the government, often your profit after tax is also controlled by the government. So this is the reason ONGC does not show the kind of movement that a normal stock will show.
Okay, Mr. Daruwala, hope you took in all of that advice from Ashwini on ONGC. Let's move on then to our last and final query for the day, which comes in on Federal Bank. Now, this time around, Akash has sent in this query via email from New Delhi. He's bought 150 shares of Federal Bank at an average of 335 rupees per share. Now, he wants to know if he should hold on or sell with a time horizon of the next 3 months. Ashwini, what should Akash do?
Well, the good news here is that the stock has rallied and he's way into the money. Now, he should keep a trailing stop about 475, and once the stock gets above 550, in case he can add on, he should add on maybe half of what he has, 75 more shares, and we're looking at a final target about 685 to 700. So, banking still has more steam, and he just needs to hold on and maybe add once the intermediate high is crossed, and he'll make good money.
An ad to make good money. Thanks very much, Ashwini, for that advice. On that note, here's a quick disclaimer once again from our end. Please do make sure that you consult your financial advisor if you will be taking positions in any of the stocks recommended.
Well, let's also take a quick look then with what's happening with the broader end of the market. And clearly, after 3 days of selling pressure, we've seen the mid-cap index also show a turnaround, and it's right now higher by 0.25%. It's really financials as well as pharma that's leading the charge as far as the mid-cap side is concerned. We've got an Aurobindo Pharma that's added on a hefty 3% at this point in time. And Oriental Bank of Commerce also looking strong at a level of about 338. iBulls Financial Services, another 7 rupee move coming in here. It's at about 316.9. She Cement, Petronet LNG as well as Strides Arcolabs are all higher by about 1.5%. In terms of the selling pressure here, not too much being witnessed. We've got an IOB that's off by close to 2%. Amtech Autos also shaved off a rupee and a half. Dish TV, Tata Global Beverages and GVK Power today are seeing some selling.
Okay, so the mid-cap index as we speak have at just about 15 points. Time to get in Sandeep Bagle and Prakash Gaba. They're going to identify their top trading bets. Sandeep, it's 2 buys and 1 sell?
Well, I believe the markets are totally stock specific. You can't judge. I mean, you can have 3 sells and you can be right, and you can have 3 buys and you can be right. So I've decided to go with a 2 buys and 2 sells because broadly I don't see too much of a downside. Could be a 40-50 point downside on the Nifty. I have a buy in Axis Bank. Stop loss of 1360, target 1420, a price and volumes breakout in the hourly charts. This move should come in by end of the day or probably another day or two. The second one is a buy in DLF, which has given a positive crossover in the momentum indicators in the daily charts. This move should come in over the next 2 or 3 days. Stop loss of 233, target of 244. And the third one is a sell in JP Power, which is broken down in the daily charts in terms of price and volumes breakdown. A stop loss of 40 and a target of 34.
Okay, those are the 3 ideas that Sandeep's recommending right now. But tell us about what you've spotted, Mr. Gaba.
Yeah, I think I've spotted one basically, just one short side and 2 long, starting with Reliance Capital. It's a shorting candidate. I don't like the structure near the highs 500 zones. It's given some kind of an exhaustion pattern out there. It might go up in a day or two, but looks like it should slide down to levels closer to 458. It's a weak stock. Have a stop about 482 and take the short side, Reliance Capital. While I'm one short, like to go long on Wipro, receiving a good breakout, has sustained the up move today. So far structurally is still up. I would say that 417 is a strong support zones in Wipro, and on the upside we could see levels closer to 431. So Wipro is a buy. And second stock that's a buy among the buy list is Z Entertainment. Looks like it's in a good up move. It's given a beautiful breakout at levels closer to around 231 or so. That's the place I would have a stop below that. And on the upside, I would expect it to climb to levels closer to 242. So Z is a buy, Wipro is a buy, and Reliance Capital a sell.
Thanks very much, Prakash, for giving us your top trading recommendations. What's happening with the broader end of the market? Well, not too much. You've got the small cap index, which is quoting higher by just about 0.2%. Moving on then, let's talk about some of the gainers there. You've got a Sujana Ataz. That's not showing you too much volume, but it's higher by 4%. Apart from that, Hindustan Door Olivers had a pretty good run, currently at 25. Geojit BNP Paribas clearly giving a big thumbs up to its quarterly numbers, higher by close to 4%. Madhukan Projects is showing you quite a bit of traction, and apart from that, you've You've got a Zensar Technologies also, which is in the green. On the downside, though, the bleeding is relentless for Inertia International, despite some soothing commentary coming in from the management. It's now down on for I think the third or fourth day on the trot. Deccan Chronicle, a pretty similar case to Satyam, is what most of the analysts are pegging it at. Orissa Sponge, you've got 3.5% downtick. SR Shipping is looking a tad weak, as is Z News from the media space.
Okay, moving on then. Let's get you some more trading ideas that you could be looking at in the session right now. We've got Rajat Bose as well as Mr. M.B. Singh joining us now on the show. Rajat, I start with you first. And you've got 3 long recommendations.
Yeah, 3 long recommendations, but all intraday calls, because if you look at the end of day chart, then it is very difficult to give buy calls. But since the market's sort of showing a bit of a parking up, and Tata Motors was one stock that I have chosen because it was showing trendiness and its uptrend was being maintained. So probably Tata Motors can actually move up to something like 333 to about 335, and I've kept a very close stop of 328. So once it goes below 328, this stop loss would be triggered. This other stock from the large cap space is L&T. L&T is one stock that will move up if there were to be any short covering in the day, because it has had a considerable correction. So a lot of short positions that might have got built up could be partly covered, and during that short covering it can go up to something like 1555. So that is the target that I've kept, and you can keep a stop loss below, say, the day's low. Whatever the day's low recorded, that should be used as your stop loss. Finally, India Bulls Financial. India Bulls Financial is also showing good amount of traction in today's trading, and it is also attracting good volume. So probably it is going to hit 322 to about 325. So buy it with a stop below 314. But remember, all these are intraday calls, and I've kept very close stops because I do not have much faith in this rally.
Okay, so that's 3 buying ideas. That is what Rajat Bose is recommending. A quick check on Dr. Reddy's and the intraday chart. You've got LIC Insurance, which has cut stake in the company. So from an earlier 8.4%, the stake has now been brought down to 6.3%. Not too much of a reaction. The stock price still quoting in the green. There has been quite a bit of positive news coming on Dr. Reddy's so far, acquiring 80% stake in Octoplus, and they also started mining of $1.3 million drug exclusivity. But moving on from there, let's take it straight then to M.B. Singh, who now joins in on the show with his trading recommendations. Mr. Singh, thanks very much for being with us. What are your 3 recommendations? Because it's quite the contrary from what Rajat had bet on. You've got 3 sell calls.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think my view is completely contrary to what Rajat said. It's completely in line. In fact, if you realize, I am quite bullish on the market in the medium term, but in the short term, what I am expecting that all these stocks which have performed very well in the last few months, say, banking stock was the outperformer sector, but right now, State Bank and Yes Bank, I feel that they have overstretched this rally, and right now I'm feeling that they are a little tired. So that's why I'm selling these 2 stocks, and ACC on the contrary is quite weak. It has broken its support, which was around, say, 1370 or so. So I would suggest that sell SBI, and I'm expecting a stop loss should be 2555, and target is between 2350 and 2400. And similar story is for Yes Bank. Sell between 508 and 498.50. Stop loss is 517, and I'm expecting 480 and 465, because both these stocks are quite overbought. And third stock, ACC, it's a sell between 1361 and 1374. I think it has already broken down. Stop was 1390, and I'm expecting 1300 rupees.
Okay, so technical short calls coming in on an ACC, Yes Bank, as well as the State Bank of India. With that, of course, we've gotten you 18 equity trading ideas, but let's also chat with Manisha Gupta, commodities editor, to give you a sense of what's happening in that pocket of the market. Hi, Manisha.
Hi Megan, thank you so much for that. Well, gold prices after 6 weeks of decline did show a gain in the previous week, even if it was by 0.5%. And this week we really seem to be extending those kind of gains. So nearly $4 of a run up, and 1660 seems to be holding up in the international markets there. Also, you have a report out from LBMA, and they expect 2013 to close with just 5.1% of gains coming in for gold. They are slightly bullish, but if you look at the net long positions, those have shown a decline as per the CFTC data in the previous week in the precious metal space there. Good going though continues for the crude oil prices, 5 weeks of gains, and this week you have seen the strength continue into that space as well. $94 is holding for NYMEX, and the important point is that you have seen the premium narrow. It's not nearly $17 of a gap now between the NYMEX and the Brent crude prices, so that is something to watch out for. The strength though is coming in from the fact that there is bad weather, and that has cut off exports from Iraq, and support coming in from that one. And apart from that, the CFTC data shows that the net long positions now are at a 3-month high in the previous week because of strong economic data coming in from US and China, and that has been supportive for that space. Base metal prices in the meanwhile didn't do so well in the previous week, but we have seen some strength come back into the prices. Markets would be watching out for the Ben Bernanke speech today in the evening, and the direction of course would be coming in from the industrial production data out of Eurozone as well. How do you trade all of those commodities then ahead of all of those economic points? For that, let's get in Naveen Mathur from Angel, and he joins us live on the show. Naveen, hi, welcome. How would you look at the precious metal space, and gold especially, how would you trade that?
Yeah, Manisha, good morning. I think, as you said, the pointing towards the bullish trend on the gold, I continue to say on that, and therefore the strategy for the intraday would be to buy the contract on the gold for the MCX month February at around 3070 to 3750. We would recommend the stop loss for this trade at around 30,600, and the targets on the upside at around 30,950. International markets we see around 1656 on the downside as a support, and the upside would be restricted to around 1672. It's trading right now at around $1666 levels per ounce.
Naveen, how would you also look at the crude prices? Because there is strength in that, while we have seen sell-off in natural gas and gasoline prices, but the crude oil itself seems to be really getting strength.
I think, Manisha, the fundamental factors which you pointed out in the show were absolutely on dot, and I think therefore with the depreciation of rupee in Indian markets too, we will see a bullish trend continuing for the crude oil prices, and therefore the strategy we would recommend would be to buy the crude contract on the MCX for the month of January at around 5,120 to 125, 130 levels. Stop loss for this trade recommended at around 5,070. And the targets on the upside at around 5,200. It's trading right now at around 5,157. International markets also, we see a bullish trend. On the downside, the support is restricted to at around $93 levels, and the upside would be at around $94, $95. It's trading right now at around 94.15.
All right, Naveen, appreciate you joining us, taking time and giving us all of those strategies. So those are the two buy calls coming in from Angel on gold and crude as well. With that, it's back to you, Ava.
Thanks as always, Manisha, for giving us those commodity trading bets. On that note, a quick disclaimer once again. Please remember to consult your financial advisor if at all you will be taking positions in any of the stocks recommended. To our 6 technical titans, appreciate you taking time out and giving us your trading recommendations.